I really need to stop reading Yahoo Finance articles. But anyways, this was kind of interesting because I finally found an article where they talk about the infrastructure cost to Twitter, which is 1 billion according to sources. The reason why I'm making this video isn't because of actually the subject matter. It's more just about how when people write these articles, they mention sources, but unfortunately, this what kind of source are they, sourcing? They talk about one source stating that the cut in extra server space would affect high traffic, but it, again, we don't know who the source is. Um, and there was another source down here. They said that cost cuts could come from reduced spending in Google Cloud services. The source said. Uh, this article, like many articles, usually it's written really quickly, and it just it's tough to you know take in because when they don't provide valid source, not valid sources, but just you don't know what the source is, and so when they say one source said this, could be a software engineer, could be an entry level software engineer. If it's not from someone high up, how is this something we can believe? And again, from my own research in 2019, um, we see that the costs and expenses for Twitter were around 3 billion. I'll provide a link, or you can just look at what do you call it? You can look at the revenue versus profit loss. In 2019, they made 3 something billion, and then they what do you call it? They actually made a profit in 2019, 3 point something billion, but in 2021, they ended up making 5 billion, but losing 220 million or 200 million. So their cost and expenses were over 5 billion. So they added more than 2 billion in expenses. So you have to see that. Uh, I don't know if they're really spending 2 billion in servers. That's the key question. And so when they're asking to save $1 billion in cost savings, it might actually be reasonable, because they added so much. Even though you can also look at the number of added users, they added something like 45% or 46% users from 2019 to 2021. So I don't know. Originally, yeah, I just made this video to talk about the problem with articles and not having, or just not saying who the source is. I mean, in the past, when you write a report or an article, you use a reliable source, but over here it's just saying a source said, so you can't really even verify. You don't, anyone could have, this could be any source from Twitter or any, I mean, it's so vague. And so I'm not saying it's not true, but it's hard to verify. And the fact that they're posting stuff like this, I mean, it's misinformation, in my opinion, unfortunately, because if you have something super valid, you should say who the source is. That way, we can determine if this is a valid, argument that servers, the reduction in servers would cause high traffic failures. So, anyways, that was my little gripe, and I'm pretty sure no one else has that gripe about articles on Yahoo or just in general on Google news feeds that say there's a source that said something, some generic source, and you don't know what that source is. Like, is this an engineer? At the very least, is this an engineer, or is this someone from marketing? We don't know. It just is a source. So just wanted to mention that.